Hello and welcome back to Boring Dead Gaming, where today we're going to be playing some more Paranormasight, the Seven Mysteries of Honjo. So we are in the daytime phase of this first day-night cycle, first 24-hour period, I suppose you'd say. Got 3 available little chapters, so we're going to go and start off with Yako Sakazaki's... Yako Sakazaki? That's right. Hitomi's help. Looks like Mio's alive, which is good. Bringing her friend back from the dead means she'll have to pay the price. Yako makes it home safely, but still isn't sure about how to proceed with her curse. She worries about Mio as the night passes. Yako Sakazaki, 8 a.m. Yako's home. Oh, good morning, Yako. Huh? Yako, rise and shine. Huh? You're up. It's morning. Are you okay? Can you remember your name? I'm... the Spectre of the Spirit Board, obviously. No, don't fall back asleep. You must still be dreaming. Wake up. Yes, I'm Yako Sakazaki. Good. Oh, Mio, thanks for last night. Was everything okay? Yep, still alive. I couldn't dispel the curse echo or learn the identity of who used it, but I managed to at least get away. But in that situation, it's the best you can hope for. I'm sorry you got involved in something so dangerous. I meant to look for you as soon as the sun rose, but I was just so sleepy. I can't even remember when I fell asleep. It's okay. It's only natural to be exhausted after what you went through. Besides, I also feel bad that you've been wrapped up in all this. It's supposed to be my job to prevent that from happening. Oh yeah, you said something about that last night. Just who are you exactly, Mio? Oh, well, the truth is I've been trained in things having to do with the supernatural. Huh? You mean you can learn that kind of stuff like you would with flower arranging? I had quite the eventful childhood. Huh, that sounds like it must have been tough. Yes, it would take a long time to explain, so let's leave it at that for now. As fate would have it, I've ended up as the apprentice, or maybe more like the assistant to a notable paranormal expert. Schools have always had more paranormal disturbances because young people tend to be more susceptible to these things. I'm sent to schools that may experience something paranormal and put a stop to it before it happens. Wow, that's amazing. So it's like a part-time job you do while also being a student. Well, I do help maintain public order, but it's all part of my training, so I don't get any money. Oh, you've got it rough then. But still, that really is amazing. You were so cool when you faced off against the evil spirit. I never know if I should be happy when you compliment me like that. But anyways, that's why it's up to me to resolve any paranormal issues at the school, and why I'm going to look into the cause of all this. But for now, let's head to school. Yeah. Oh, do you have your curse stone? Now that it's daytime and its power is diminished, I should be able to hold on to it. Want to give it a try? Right, I do have it, but... Yako. Is it really so wrong trying to bring Michio back, I mean? I can't approve of it. The rite may seem like a dream come true, but it involves taking the lives of other people. Then... yeah, true. I want to make sure this whole ritual ends without anyone getting hurt. That's what I believe, and what I'll put before anything else. Do you like my kissy face? I'm sorry, but is it okay if I hold on to it? Yako. I promise I won't use the curse no matter what, but maybe there's some other way. I just have this feeling that I shouldn't give up on the possibility just yet. That said, I'll help you, even if it's to stop the curses. For the Michio that still exists within me, I'll settle things so that we can move forward. Okay, but if you ever feel in danger, you can give me the curse stone at any point. Right. Thank you, Mia. Okay then, let's go. Candy Shop Senoya. An old-fashioned candy shop located on a street corner in Honjo. It has been in Yako Sakazaki's family for 3 generations. On the weekends, you can spot Yako watching over the store, cooking monjeyaki and playing traditional tops and card games with the local children. Though traditional candy shops are known for selling cheap treats for kids, it is not uncommon to see these largely privately owned businesses become something more like general stores, selling food, drinks, utensils, and other daily necessities. Many families operate candy shops on the dirt ground floor of their home, known as a doma, with a space in the back where customers can eat monjeyaki, as well as arcade games and capsule toy machines in the front. Such facilities make them attractive places for children to gather and play. However, the harsh reality is that traditional candy shops, which thrive during the period of high economic growth, where many confectionery manufacturers enter the market, are experiencing a steady decline due to the rise of convenience stores and changes in children's interests and tastes. Right, they're back at the school. Huh? I thought it unusually noisy. There's a big group of people and police in front of the school. Did something happen? If the police are here, then something must have. I'll go ask. Thanks. This isn't good. Huh? What happened? Don't panic, okay? The first teacher who came to work this morning found something. Okay. Mr. Jonouchi was found dead in the middle of the school grounds. What? They're closing the school for the day. But that's not all. I didn't know this either since I didn't watch the morning news, but rumours are spreading that a number of bodies were found nearby. What? There's no way. Why? Could it be because of the curse? We don't know enough to say. From what I heard, Mr. Jonouchi's body was in the middle of the grounds, but his body was covered in bruises like he'd fallen from somewhere high. Weird. Taking into account his unnatural death and the timing, it's very likely it has something to do with the curse. You're saying someone used their curse on him last night? Seems like it, doesn't it? But that's so scary. Yeesh, so the curses really do kill people, and someone used it. Shh, keep your voice down, okay? What would happen if another curse bearer heard you? Eep, sorry. Kohei Jonouchi. So he's the dead one. His deceased body was discovered on the school grounds at dawn. Says he largely looks down this. It's been updated, but it's only this sentence that's been added. I wish we had a little more information, but they've locked up the front gate. Maybe we could sneak in through the back entrance. That person over there. Isn't that Hitomi Okuda? You're right, that's unusual. Oh, but she was at the school last night too. She must know something about Mr. Jonouchi. Let's see what she has to say. Oh, Mio, wait for me. Okay, so her voice. She can be... Scouse. Huh? So you're telling me the two of you were the ones at the school last night? No sense hiding it then. Plus, I owe you one, Mio. I'll tell you everything I know. Thank you. She owes you? Oh, yeah. Right after I transferred her, there was a bit of trouble. She gave me one of those, what was it? Exorcisms? Huh, so that's what it was. Well, let's talk about that. Hitomi, were you possessed by some kind of evil spirit? I don't understand it all too well myself. What I can say for sure is, thanks to Mio, the weird symptoms that were happening to me all went away. Yep, some people are born with a natural sensitivity to the paranormal. They tend to end up isolated as they struggle to relate to the people around them. They also tend to draw spirits to them naturally. This can cause strange symptoms they don't understand, like headaches, muscle stiffness and hallucinations, even memory problems. I'm sure it must have been very hard. So that's how it works, huh? Do people also have their personality taken over when possessed too? It is possible with spirits who have a very close relationship to their target, like siblings or a parent and a child. But we almost never hear about people being taken over completely. It's when the two parties aren't in sync that those negative effects can start to appear. So the seances or whatever you see on TV are all bogus? Not quite. There are mediums and diviners who can align their minds with the spirits they call. Though there are people on TV who are just putting on a performance. Huh? There are people who, in life, had extremely powerful spirit sense or a deep connection with the person. But even they shouldn't be able to completely take over the person they possess. And even if they could, it'd only be enough to pressure them to choose certain behaviours that wouldn't be unusual for them to do on their own to begin with. But if that's the case, would you not know if you were choosing the behaviour of your own free will or not? Hence why there are lots of cases where people don't even realise they're possessed, though the spirit may influence the behaviour and memories of the host. The deeper the connection in life, it's easier it is for that to occur. I see. Getting possessed by spirit is pretty complicated then. It must have been tough for you being possessed for so long, Hitomi. Whatever might happen to me doesn't make any difference. Me being able to see the spirits and stuff has nothing to do with how things ended up like this. Yeah, it's not like being able to see them is your fault either. The same goes for me. Maybe it's just something we have to live with. I think you have a knack for it yourself, Yeko. I bet you could see them too with a little training. I think I may pass. Did you hear about Mr. Jonucci? Heard about it? I've known about it since last night. I saw that asshole baited on the school grounds myself. What? You saw it happen? Tell us about it. What happened exactly? Don't really know myself. It was pitch black. What can I tell you? It was almost dawn, probably around 3. He started freaking out all of a sudden, ran out onto the ground like something was chasing him, then screamed. Ah, somebody help me, forgive me, Michio. Or something like that, while he was running around. Michio, he mentioned Michio. Was there anyone else out on the grounds? It was too dark to see where I was, but for just a second I thought I saw a girl in a school uniform with her hair in braids. Oh? I didn't go out to make sure, so it could have been nothing for all I know. Then I heard him begging for his life like I was wrong and I'll do anything. Then all of a sudden his arms and legs snapped, even though he was just standing there. His arms and legs broke without anything being done to him. He fell over and quit moving, so I thought I'd better get out of there. Then he croaked. That's all I saw. I see. But from what you've told us, it almost sounds like Michio's ghost chased down Mr. Jonucci and killed him. Hell if I know anything about that. I'm just telling you what I heard him say. Yeah, why were they in the classroom last night? Hitomi, last night before you witnessed Mr. Jonucci collapse, can I ask what you and he were doing in the classroom? You're going to tell the cops? Oh, right, with everything that's happened with Mr. Jonucci. They'll suspect you if we told them we saw you with him last night. Anytime something happens with people like me and all those shitty adults start jumping to conclusions. I understand, I won't tell them. You wouldn't have been able to kill him anyway. If you say so, then I don't mind telling you about it. So, last night, that piece of shit Jonucci called me over here, acting like he was going to attack me or something. What? How terrible. Whatever, I'm glad he's dead. Hear it coming. Calling people worthless and a cancer on society when he doesn't know shit about them. That asshole was the one always acting like scum, if you ask me. Is that so? Could you tell us in more detail what he called you out in the middle of the night? It's hard to explain. Where to start? Okay. What do you mean by Mr. Jonucci's acting like scum? Was he doing something bad? You know Michio Shirishi, right? The girl who killed herself? Huh, Michio? I don't know everything, but that creep of a teacher had some dirt on her, and he was using it to blackmail her, call her up after school and make her do whatever he wanted. Ugh. What? What do you mean when you say whatever he wanted? I'll leave it to your imagination. Nothing that a couple of model students like you would ever get involved in. No, that's how. What do you mean by dirt? I don't know anything about this. How could I not have known about this? Yako, I know how you feel, but try to calm down. You got guts acting like you were her friend. Jonucci really did a number on both Michio's body and soul. She probably felt she couldn't tell anyone, like she had to suffer alone. Oh no, how terrible. Hitomi, how do you know about this? I just happened to walk in on it. I know the spots around school where people go when they want to stay out of sight. He ran off in a panic when I yelled at him, asking what he was doing. Walked in on it. I couldn't just leave her alone, looking like she was about to cry, so I stuck around for a bit. She told me everything that happened in whispers. She probably figured I wasn't the type to spread that stuff around. But she never asked for my help. She told me that she was fine and to keep it a secret. Michio, why? She probably thought she just had to grit her teeth until it was through. She was naive. I tried to tell her that if you give guys like that an inch, they'll take a mile. She kept saying about how it was her punishment. Oh, she was soft. No. Of course, Jonucci didn't change. He kept on doing what he was doing. I don't understand either of them, but that's as much as I was involved. And then she killed herself. Nothing I can do about it now. I don't know where her accent's going sometimes. Hitomi, if you knew about it, then why didn't you? You trying to say it's my fault? She told me not to say anything. She told me it was fine. So what the hell more responsibility do I have other than what I already did? Yako, there's no point blaming Hitomi. Michio, why? Dirt on Michio. Did you hear what this dirt was? Nope, never heard what it was. But from the sound of it, he'd been blackmailing her since about a year ago. For that long? The dick probably caught her doing something she shouldn't have been. She looked well behaved, but there's more to a person than meets the eye, you know. Oh, there must be some reason. Dunno, got nothing to do with me. Alright, let's go back to Jonuichi's death. Did you tell that story to the police? Nope, and I ain't gonna. Can't count on them for shit. Not like they'd believe such an insane story anyways. Right. But there must be at least one person in the police worth trusting, right? Yeah, I guess. There was this one cop who always got on my case about stuff. But he died just the other day. Oh, he did? I'm sorry to hear that. Everyone who gets involved with me ends up dead. Maybe I really am cursed. Pisses me off. Oh, you've got it all wrong. The spirit that possessed you wasn't that kind of spirit. Huh? It wasn't? Yeah, this was just an unfortunate coincidence. Though I'm sure that was hard enough for you. Let's keep going on this. That's all I know about that asshole's death. Hey, Mio, I've been thinking something. The way she described it reminded me of something. The way Mr. Jonucci died. It sounds a lot like how Michio died. Of course, I didn't see it myself, but the state Michio's body was in, it was like she'd fallen from high up. Could they have been killed by the same curse? I don't think so. The curses of the Seven Mysteries hadn't manifested when she died. And if we can trust what the spirit board said, then Michio died in an accident. Oh, right. What you described does sound like Michio killed Mr. Jonucci. She did have a reason to hate him after all. No way! You mean that really was the ghost? Like, for real? Those who die bearing strong resentment or regret can occasionally become spirits, either bound to a place or roaming freely. However, it would usually be impossible for them to kill the living. Most don't have that kind of power. But it's possible they could possess someone close to them to act on those lingering regrets. Huh? Wonder if that's what happened? Alright, then supposing that what the spirit board said is true and that Michio's death was an accident, then she must have had some regrets. If she really hadn't given up on living, that is. I don't think she was the kind of girl who would just give up no matter what the situation. I don't really know, but she didn't seem like the kind that she had something tormenting her so much that she'd kill herself. So that's why you do the job you do, huh, Mia? I thought she was a weirdo when she showed up all of a sudden saying she was going to exorcise me. If you hadn't said anything, I probably would have knocked your lights out. You tried to perform an exorcism on her without telling her anything. You see, in my experience, most people don't understand, no matter how much I explain. They only accept my explanation after they see the results. Huh, I guess that makes sense. Alright, last one, the classroom last night. So last night, how did it start? Alright. Remember that nosy cop I mentioned who was always on my case? He died at the former Yasuda Gardens a couple of days ago. Yoshimi was his name. He was part of the juvenile division. He didn't look like a cop at all. Real rough guy, but good at looking out for folks, so he was the only one I could talk to. Ah, so there was someone like that with the police. Too bad he ended up dying. But one other thing, one time he suddenly introduced his fiancée to me. It was hilarious seeing a big guy like that act like a shy little kid all of a sudden. She told me that she was like me when she was my age, and that she was on my side. It must have been a terrible loss for her too. Yeah, I do feel a little bad for her when I think about how sad she must be. And I saw him at the gardens the night he died. Oh no. How many people did she see die? Whenever I would get worked up over something, Yoshimi always took me straight to that park. Then he'd listen to whatever I was pissed off about. That day he called me over there like usual, but something seemed off about him, like he was worried about something. Worried about something? Yeah, he asked me for a favour too. That was pretty damn unusual. A favour? What kind of favour? He handed me a weird talisman and asked me to hold on to it for him. A talisman? Yeah, just a normal good luck charm. I figured if that's it, then sure, I'll take it. Have it with me now. But that wasn't all. Then he told me that he wanted me to look out for a talisman Michio Shiraishi had that looked like this one. Oh, Michio. What does she have to do with this? Yoshimi had been meeting up and talking with her. While they were together, he noticed that she had a special talisman or something. But apparently Michio always avoided the subject. A talisman that Michio had. He knew that I knew her, so that's why he asked me, he said. Could there have been something that Michio couldn't tell even the police about? I knew things at home were a little complicated. From what I heard, Michio was keeping her mouth shut about what Jonuichi was doing to her. Hard to talk with the cops when someone's got dirt on you. And I didn't squeal on anything about Michio either. Michio, what is it that had such a strong grip on you? So basically, Yoshimi didn't just have his eye on Michio, but her talisman too. But after she died, he didn't know where it ended up. So since I knew her from school, he wanted me to look into it for him. Is there something special about the two talismans? I wonder why he gave it to you. Hell if I know. When I looked inside it, there's just a weird grimy scrap of wood. So you've seen inside it? But for the way he was acting, it seemed important to him somehow. But to be honest, when he was asking is such a pain in the ass, I figured he had to be serious about it. Oh, and since he died right after that. Yeah, he even said to me, if anything happens to me, take those two talismans. Give them to a guy named Nakagoshi at the police department. Knowing what I know now, he probably felt that something was going to happen to him. Nakagoshi. Do you know him, Mio? No, I've just heard the name, I think. So there really is a Nakagoshi? Oh, that's a relief at least. Anyway, it didn't feel right just ignoring a dead guy's last request. Hitomi? Yeah? That talisman, would you mind if I had a look at it? Sorry, but I don't trust you all that much yet. It's important to me. Oh, okay. I guess we're looking at the classroom again. So last night, you were looking for the talisman Michio had? Yeah. And I figured that piece of garbage teacher would know the most about Michio. I asked him yesterday afternoon if he knew anything about her talisman. He gave me some cryptic response like, I can't talk about it, no, come to the school tonight. He even gave me the code to the lock on the back entrance. He seemed pretty willing to give it out, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's used it for secret meetings before. Oh, yuck, I can only imagine. We climbed over the front gate to get in. So yeah, we met up in the classroom in the middle of the night. But nothing he said made any sense. Like that I was really Michio and stuff like that. He went on and on about how it was my fault, and if only I hadn't been around or something. He grabbed a hold of me, breathing heavily. Oh, Eep. Were you okay? Yeah, that's the night when you two showed up. I was able to get away while Jonuichi was freaking out. Oh my gosh, good thing you got away. So it's all thanks to you two that I got away. But I didn't get any info about the talisman, so the whole thing was sort of a bust. Afterward I was wondering what you two were up to, so I hid nearby. Then I saw you and the old man, Ashimiya, talking. Then Mio showed up. Oh, you did? That's also why I saw Jonuichi come back outside and bite it. I see. So you were only here to look up for Michio's talisman? Oh no, that wasn't her. So you were only there to look for Michio's talisman. And that's all I know. Happy? I still got to look for the talisman? Sure. Thank you, Hitomi. Oh, if you two find out anything about Michio's talisman, we'll be sure to let you know. thanks. Oh, can we get your contact info where we can normally find you? Right, I'm not home most of the time. Usually I'm at a friend's place. Here's the phone number. Thanks, we'll call her if we need to talk with you. And, what is it? You're easier to talk to than I imagined. I was kind of scared at first, but not anymore. Ah, shut up! You were the one avoiding me. Anyway, catch you later. Don't die out there, okay? Thanks, we'll be careful. So I was taking a mouthful of coffee. All right then. We got a lot of new information. Sounds like Mr. Jonuichi was killed by a curse, just as we thought, which means there was a curse bearer at the school. Multiple, in fact. Multiple, you think so? Yes, the curse echo we experienced in the school and the one that killed Mr. Jonuichi seem to be different. The people in the school at the time other than us were Mr. Jonuichi, Hitomi, and old man Ashimiya, who you ran into. I was thinking it would be among them, but there was one more person. Hitomi saw a girl in school uniform with braids. From what Hitomi was saying, it doesn't seem like she's one. Mr. Jonuichi is pretty suspicious, though. If he were a curse bearer, it would certainly explain why he was killed. Right, that's why I say there are multiple. Oh, right, the person who killed Mr. Jonuichi would have to be one too. Which means it must be either the mysterious girl or old man Ashimiya. Yeah, we should certainly be careful of them, that said. The mysterious girl and the fact that Mr. Jonuichi thought it was Michio that was attacking him has me wondering. Of course, I doubt Michio herself was actually there, but... Oh, I just remembered! I also saw Mr. Araishi outside the main gate last night. You did? It's likely he's involved with the curses, given that he's the one doing research on the rite of resurrection. So we'll have to be careful of old man Ashimiya and Mr. Araishi. I want to believe that then not all curse bearers will be hostile, but... As for what to do now... I'd like to find who is responsible for the Feast of Shadows that set this off and how they did it. I don't think we'll be able to end this without stopping it at its source. Ah, that makes sense. In which case, next we should do what exactly? We'll need to talk with Mr. Araishi. He definitely knows something. It should be safer during the day, so I think we should try to look for him. Got it. I'll help in any way I can. The school is closed. I wonder where he could be. Let's try heading someplace someone may know where he is. Where to go then? Is that the end? Oh no, we got a choice here. Okay. So where would somebody know where he is? Probably, well, the high school's closed. There's nobody there. Where would we meet people? Maybe the candy shop? It's a bit of a meeting point, isn't it? Yako Sakazaki, 9 a.m. Senoya. And so, Mio Kurosuzu and Yako Sakazaki decided on their next location to investigate. Okay, so that is the end of that chapter. And there's no possible chance to progress there yet. So let's go and do Haru, or in this case it looks like Richter Kai. Throughout the night, Richter continues to gather information about the curse stones, while Haru lies awake until dawn, preoccupied by the prospect of bringing her lost child back to life. Haru Shigima. Shigima Mansion. Good morning, ma'am. How you feeling? I'm fine. I hope we can make good progress today. How's your curse stone looking? I haven't felt anything from it since sunrise. Interesting. It's possible that its powers can only be unleashed at night, then. That aside, why are you so late this morning? There are unfortunately some things that can't be investigated while the world slumbers. But I did get some research done in what limited time I had. Very well, let's talk. What's she thinking? We may be surrounded by curses and death, but it matters little. My only concern is whether I can see my child again. Look at the mansion, the old mansion, born and raised, blah blah blah. Surroundings? The town is beginning to wake up once more. The clamour of society can be heard from beyond the garden gates. Like any day, a cloud of pollution drifts out from the industrial area. The entrance? No one's in the mansion at the moment. The door has been locked shut. The housekeeper has already left after cleaning and preparing food. We don't have full scope of movement. Alright, let's look at him. He's looking a bit tired. He must have been up all night investigating. By the way, there's something I wanted to talk to you about. And what's that? Our current plan is to steal a curse stone that's already absorbed soul dregs, but I'm wondering if it would suffice to not steal, but instead negotiate with the curse bearer and have them use the right for our purposes. Oh? I mean, I suppose that would accomplish the same, but do you think it's possible? So long as we offer compensation, it may prove much easier than you'd expect. Compensation? Cash, for instance. That wouldn't be off the table for a family as rich as the Shigimas, would it? Of course. Why, any amount would be fine if it would get the job done. I won't let any monetary matters lead me to regrets the way it did back with the ransom. Okay, with that option on the table, let's figure out our strategy. Do you have a curse bearer with whom we can negotiate in mind? Not yet. Surprisingly, it seems the other curse bearers haven't been that proactive about catching soul dregs. Did you see the news this morning? No, I haven't. Overnight, 3 mysterious deaths were reported in this area. They've yet to announce the identities of the bodies found, but they've been nicknamed the Honjo serial killings. It's garnered quite some attention on the streets. Oh my. Only 3? Well, that's what I thought. Even if the victims were curse bearers, just 1 or 2 wouldn't be enough soul dregs. And for what those curse stones are capable of, a mere 3 victims seems a little on the low side. With this little activity all through the night, the curse bearers must be a cautious bunch. What's holding them back? Are we not all after the powers of resurrection? There may still be some undiscovered victims, but it doesn't seem like anyone has gathered enough soul dregs yet. We might have to set up some bait to spur them into action, and then we offer them the deal. None of the curse bearers seem very proactive. I wonder if this situation could be what the mastermind who kicked it all off intended. Now that's an interesting theory. You think there's someone behind this all? You mentioned hearing an agonised voice telling you to kill when you first obtained the curse stone. That doesn't sound like a coincidence to me. Someone agitated the curses in this area on purpose, and they're all likely after the rite of resurrection as well. So you're thinking this person is not one of the curse bearers? You got a sharp mind, ma'am. Though it might seem obvious for the mastermind to become a curse bearer and collect soul dregs if they were after the rite, that would be very risky, since as a curse bearer they themselves would become a target. So it would actually be more convenient for them if the curse bearers moved less aggressively. That's right. But despite that, they've been inciting the curse bearers to commit murders. Why? Let's consider this. What if the mastermind isn't trying to collect soul dregs themselves? You mean their intention was also to steal the souls while the other curse bearers compete with each other from the start? Sitting back and observing from the sidelines is the safer course of action, which is why I figured it best for us to attempt the same strategy. So how should we do it? There's still reason to suspect the mastermind could be a curse bearer themselves. To be honest, I want to keep my distance from whoever it was. It is. There's no telling what kind of power they might possess. Whether our aim is to negotiate or steal, we'll have to outpace the mastermind in making contact with the other curse bearers. How do you suppose we do so? At this point, all we can do is search. If there's a mastermind inciting the curse bearers to collect soul dregs, can we be sure there even is a rite of resurrection? Good question. The rite could be nothing but a myth fabricated to spur the curse bearers into action. Seeing it might be for naught, do you want to give up, ma'am? Never. Understood. After all, we'll never know the truth unless we see it for ourselves. But we'll do it without using the curses ourselves. I learned something new about the criminal involved with the kidnapping. It concerns the serial killings. There was a body found at Komagata High School. The person was identified as a school teacher. His name was Kohai Junaichi. Do you think he was a curse bearer? Not sure. It's possible. But regardless, this means the 2 people who knew the truth about the kidnapping are both dead. Just when we were getting somewhere. It isn't enough to make me give up, of course. Still, we don't know anything about Michio Shiraishi's residence. It'd be wise to pay a visit. Understood.
By the way, I met a few people who seemed like potential curse bearers last night. I did some investigating into all of them. But I only managed to get detailed information on 2.
You're quick. I suppose that's to be expected from an investigator extraordinaire.
I appreciate the flattery. First, there's Amy Tano, the girl we talked to before, though she isn't a curse bearer herself. She's a student attending T University of Art. She currently lives alone in an apartment near Midoricho Park.
Have you even determined her address? You're not one to be underestimated, Mr. Investigator Extraordinaire.
I called every single university with ukiyo-e in the curriculum pretending to be her parent. I went around to check on her place on the way here. Doesn't seem like she returned home last night. I'm worried she might have run into some trouble.
Didn't you attempt to follow her last night?
I'm embarrassed to say, but I couldn't. She shook me. I couldn't keep track of her.
And here I thought you were Investigator Extraordinaire.
I'd like to learn more about her, but it would take some time. She is planning to steal the cursed stones just like us. It's best we act carefully around her. Next is the tall man who was dressed in black. I met him near Kinsicho. He stood out with the way he dressed. I managed to get some good information from him.
Impressive.
What can I say? He works as the secretary to Hihaku Soaps' chairwoman. I believe his name is Takumi Yumioka. The Hihaku Soaps headquarters and factories are both located in Honjo, correct?
Yes, they've been here for a while, but it's only in the past 10 years that the company has shown significant growth.
I remember seeing the chairwoman on the news a few years back. She seems to be very shrewd. With the increase in sales, I assume she'd want her factories running at full capacity. But with the arse restrictions against industrial waste, a lot of the factories with older equipment had to be shut down.
Oh, that's right. Even 10 years ago, there were many complaints about chemical plants dumping waste into the river.
Most companies back then were more concerned with making a profit than protecting the environment. I wonder what a man working for such a company would have been up to in the middle of the night. On the way here, I stopped by the company's headquarters, but they hadn't started for the day. No, I should have better luck later.
Let's hope you will. Perhaps they're interested in seeing if the rite would be beneficial for their product research into beauty and skincare.
Ah, now that's an interesting thought. I ran into one more suspicious young man last night. This one seemed to be out collecting soul dregs.
Oh, sorry, this one seemed to be out collecting soul dregs, right?
Indeed, but I couldn't get a good look at him though, and I couldn't gather enough intel to properly identify him.
Oh, well, that's a shame.
But I can make an educated guess.
Oh?
You know that researcher who discovered the ancient text on the Rite of Resurrection, the one that lives near here? His name is Hideki Ariashi, and the man I met was very similar in stature.
Oh my, even he is involved. How awfully suspect. Considering his background, couldn't he be the one who initiated the whole affair?
I think it's possible, yes. Which is why I decided to refrain from making contact with him for the time being. Safety first.
Understandable.
Of course, I want to learn more, but this isn't the right time to focus on him. I'm still going. I prefer to ascertain who else is a curse bearer. First, I return to Hihaku Soaps to see that man in black. Their headquarters down on South Waragoesi Street. In addition to the 3 victims associated with the Honjo serial killings, there's Michio Shiriishi, who reportedly committed suicide, and the police officer who died at the former Yasuda Gardens. If strange deaths continue occurring like so, they're bound to inspire strange rumours.
But those last 2 have nothing to do with the 7 mysteries, no?
It's true, both occurred a week before this accursed situation began. Still, it cannot be ruled out. It is possible that the mastermind was involved even with those killings.
How?
What if there were preliminary steps to awakening the 7 mysteries' curses? Can we really assume they're unrelated just because the timing doesn't match up? Rather, the police officer's death is so baffling that it'd be easier if it were connected to these curses. The victim wasn't the type to be caught off guard easily.
You seem to know a lot about this.
I suppose we weren't strangers. My personal feelings might be wrapped up in this one too.
I see. If you were to investigate this matter more, you might get a lead on the mastermind.
You're right. If we wish to focus on the mastermind's identity, that would be a fine starting point. We might even discover more deaths related to the curses on the way. We should pay attention to today's news. Well, that's all I have to report. Shall we continue with our investigation? What do you want to do? You still can't use the curse stone. Taking a walk should be a fine place to start.
Right, let's go together. I want to see what's going on for myself.
In that case, I'll trust you to decide on where we should go, ma'am.
Let's move. So our choices are South Waraguesi Street, that's the Hahuki or Hahuku soaps. Miroricho Park, I forget what was going on there. Oh, Komigata High School, where the teacher was. Well, let's go to Hihaki Soaps, because we haven't really done that with anyone else yet, have we? Probably the end of their chapter? Nope, we're carrying on.
The Haku Soaps headquarters are on the other side of South Waraguesi Street. They were closed when I visited this morning, but it appears things are up and running now.
What are we thinking? So an influential person at Hihaku Soaps is potentially a curse bearer. Richter proposed we use money to negotiate for the curse stones, but we could hardly outbid a large corporation if it came down to it. He tells me he barely slept last night, and yet he seems to be brimming with energy. Was I too that resilient at his age? Perhaps it's what sets apart a detective from the rest. Look at the office building.
I think a small soap-making company could grow so much in such a short time. There are factories and warehouses throughout the area now. You can see why director and now chairwoman Natsui Yamamori is called the Queen.
Aha. A chemical producer that ranks 4th largest in the domestic detergent market and 7th largest in the cosmetics market. From its humble beginnings as a small soap factory established after the war in 1946, founder Natsui Yamamori utilised her feminine perspective and a well-timed economic boom to boldly lead the company into new markets. Even as the market grew crowded with the industrialisation of Sumida City, the company continued to expand, digging its root deep into the area. In particular, it established itself as a household name by focusing its branding towards the rapidly expanding convenience store market. Its flagship products now include cosmetics, detergent, soap, shampoo, and more. The company's name, Heihaku, can also refer to kasuri, a type of patterned fabric. Oh, persons of interest. Natsui Yamamori. Natsui is the former president of Heihaku Soaps, a large chemicals company. Though she retired from her position 2 years ago, she still wields great influence over the company from her position of chairwoman. Recently, there have been rumours about her possessing strange and powerful magical abilities, earning her the nickname the Witch of Heihaku. Prior to the war, Natsui enjoyed her dream job as a textile factory. She was forced to face the bitter reality of the world, however, when the factory was destroyed by fire during the war, and she was ordered to rework the fabric she had painstakingly crafted into something more suitable for blue-collar work. Witnessing the rise in popularity of Western-style clothing in the post-war period, Natsui left the textile industry. However, a nod to her past can be seen in her company's name, with Heihaku being another name for kasuri, a type of fabric featuring patterns and images woven with dyed fibres. Having long been dissatisfied with the soap supplied at the textile factory, Natsui saw a business opportunity and set up her own small soap factory. Taking inspiration from imported soap brands, she developed new products, which quickly gained a good reputation. Ever the shrewd businesswoman, Natsui ran an aggressive promotional campaign on TV featuring a popular Japanese singer, rapidly turning Heihaku Soaps into a household name. You mentioned that Takumi works as her secretary.
That's correct.
Do you think it's possible he's acting on her orders?
Well, that's exactly my thinking. A curse bearer with both money and power could certainly look at resurrection as their next prize. Negotiating with a person of that stature may prove difficult.
Look at it again.
Business is up and running. I see people inside the reception area.
Probably done now. Okay. Surroundings?
Back in the Edo period, the canal known as South Waraguesi ran through this area, but has been turned into a major road. It's a bit away from the Kinsicho station or Ryogoku station, though it's still considered a nice area. Stories of the ever-burning lantern and the foot-washing mansion both took place around here. One of the bodies discovered this morning was found by this road as well.
Oh, so it's quite a lively area, huh?
I suppose you could call it somewhat of a city centre.
We've heard it mentioned a lot. South Waraguesi Street. Waraguesi, literally meaning partitioning ditch, refers to a waterway dug down the middle of a road so as to divide it. At the dawn of the Edo period, the Honjo district was little more than a collection of suburban rice farms. As the area became more developed, the South Weraguesi was excavated in order to drain rainwater into the Yokojikan River to the east. Though it served the people long and faithfully, it was converted into an underground culvert at the beginning of the Showa era. In the present, no trace of it remains on the surface but the street that bears its name. Alright, well, how do we get him? Maybe I'll talk to him. First, I need to confirm whether Takumi is the man I ran into last night. Then I'll be able to determine if he's a curse bearer. It'll be better if I go inside the headquarters alone. You should walk around, visit a cafe for some tea perhaps. Okay. So do I move? I think. I'm going to go in. It may be a while, so feel free to find somewhere to kill time. Okay, good luck in there. Sorry to keep you waiting. How did it go? I'll fast forward to the conclusion. I met with Takumi. There's no doubt he's the same man I saw last night, but it doesn't seem like he's a curse bearer. But that doesn't mean he has no connections to the recent curses. He knew about the Seven Mysteries. He even guessed we have a curse stone of our own. Excuse me? I tried to approach Takumi about a fallen item after I ran into him last night. However... You said your name was Richter, correct? I have a favour I'd like to ask of you. I'm hoping you would hand over the curse stone in your possession. Curse stone? What are you on about? There's no need to play dumb with me. In fact, there's no time for it. I had all the same reason you did to think you were a curse bearer last night. And your arrival here only confirms it. You are a curse bearer, no? You're right, we lack time. I'll confess I am a curse bearer. I possess the cursed stone of the haunting clappers. I'm glad to hear the truth. Finally, this conversation is worthwhile. It is a dangerous item you hold. Give it to me. My company will take the responsibility to dispose of it. I didn't know the soap business specialised in scrubbing curses clean. It is the prerogative of Miss Yamamori. Is that so? Assuming you've obtained the curse, you understand the power it involves, no? Miss Yamamori possesses supernatural powers akin to those of a god. She also has a deep love for this land, having transformed it from the pile of dirt it once was to the home of our headquarters. She cannot stomach the fact that it's now the site of these curses run rampant. So you're telling me the Queen of Hihako is a real-off witch? She wouldn't appreciate being called that, mind you. There's a sorcerer by the name of Suigen Gamyodo who's gallantly working behind the scenes, exorcising spirits and the like. Go on. That being so, there have already been instances of the dead coming back to life. Do you understand the urgency of this matter? There are curses. These are curses we're speaking of, tools which are used by wicked beings to possess people. The rite of resurrection is nothing but a fabrication meant to seduce the curse bearers into unspeakable action. If you truly understand what I'm talking about, you must hand over that curse stone at once. Very interesting. With that said, just how many curse stones have you acquired so far? If what you tell me is true, surely the company would have launched a large-scale search by now. We have 6. 6? Wow, I can rest at ease then. In here I thought I was at risk of being cursed. It seems we are on the same page. If that is the case, you should hand over your curse stone immediately. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but it's not actually in my possession at the moment. Considering its importance, I've been keeping it in hiding. Really now? Then I'll accompany you while you retrieve it. I'm sorry, but I've got something important to attend to, but I promise I'll return with it later. Very well. Then you won't refuse to provide your address and telephone number, I presume. How prudent of you, I'll oblige. And that's how it went. So they aren't after the right after all. I wouldn't be so quick to trust him. Oh?
I believe we're dealing with a master in deception. He may well have made up a story to convince us to part ways with our stone. I think he was lying about having procured 6 curse stones as well. Like, really? 6? No, that's excessive.
Well, now I feel gullible.
The company is plotting something. I wonder what they mean to do with the curse stones. He seemed rather desperate to get a hold of ours, despite us not having collected any soul dregs. Perhaps the people at Hihaku are the masterminds behind the curses being unleashed.
Because the chairwoman's a witch.
I wonder about that too. If she really were that powerful, would her secretary have divulged that information so casually? Takumi was either making it up as he went, or he's trying to spread a rumour.
For what purpose would he do that?
Recently people have been caught up about the occult more than ever before. If word spreads that Hihaku's chairwoman has godlike powers, she could very well benefit socially and politically from that mystique.
That's unsettling. Are we thinking anything different? How interesting that the Queen of Hihaku, or the witch, whatever she is trying to get her hands on the right of resurrection. It's like some kind of dark fairy tale. Regardless of what is or isn't true, we must stay one step ahead.
By the way, there's one more thing of interest I heard while in the company's reception lobby.
And what's that?
People were discussing whether one of the bodies found this morning was that of a Hihaku employee.
Really?
So long as the officials haven't revealed the identity, it all amounts to no more than speculation, though. Despite that, I've reason to believe Hihaku Soaps is deeply involved with the Seven Mysteries. At the very least, I can assure you I've gathered that much. The more we know, the better our negotiations will go.
Talk to me again. Oh, okay, move somewhere else. Fine.
Let's go to Midoricho Park.
Midoricho Park.
We're here. This is Midoricho Park. Ayami Tano lives around here. She wasn't in her apartment when I dropped by this morning. I wonder if it's worth checking again.
Surroundings?
This place is connected with the story of the Tako of Suguru. Not only that, Katsushika Hokusai's home was also in this area. That might be why Ayami chose to live here.
Midoricho Park. A small park bordering South Wadagoesi Street sporting a mixture of cherry and evergreen trees. Although unremarkable in most respects, its small playground always attracts a number of children come evening. While no trace remains in the modern day, it stands on what was once the site of the Suguru estate. The legendary artist Katsushika Hokusai is also believed to have been born in the vicinity. So he's the one this Ayami was obsessed with, wasn't he? Look around. Don't have much scope. Let's just talk to him then.
We won't get much done standing around here. Why don't I go and check out Ayami's apartment?
You don't mean to speak with her, do you?
Nah, I prefer to get an idea of what she's been up to. I'd like to see whether she's been home or not, just to potentially get a trace on her movements.
Then be my guest.
Okay, shouldn't be long. I'm back, ma'am.
So, nothing?
I'm afraid so. She still hasn't returned. However, I noticed a few people who seem to be related to the police force keeping watch in the area. I don't know if they got eyes on her apartment, but they do appear to be watching the building it's in.
Interesting. You've got a sharp eye to have noticed them despite being so covert.
What can I say? It's part of the job. However, it meant I had to refrain from knocking on her door or looking through her windows. I wasn't able to check her electric meter or mailbox either, unfortunately.
You were planning to go that far? Well, okay, so we want to move on. Okay, so let's go to Kamigata High School, I suppose.
Here we are at Ground Zero, Kamigata High School. I guess it's logical that the police has got this place shut down. The teacher's body was found here after all. It's as if the students have nowhere to go now that the school's closed. It seems the officers are still inspecting the scene. Entry's been strictly prohibited.
Oh, I thought we'd click on that other one.
The news has attracted a bunch of curious onlookers, huh? That works in our favour. The more people around, the better we can blend in. haven't seen any more of those bird stickers, incidentally. This place is said to be connected with the story of the Fool's Procession. I wouldn't be surprised if a curse bearer decided to turn up. However, I need to find out if that teacher was a curse bearer or not. I expect the police to be baffled since they don't know about curses. I'm going to ask around and see what the students have to say. Yeah. Alright, I'll go and ask the students about Michio. I'm back, ma'am.
So, what did you learn?
That school kids sure love a good rumour. I was practically drowning in stories about Mr. Jonouchi and Michio, most of which seemed dubious at best.
Not surprising.
Most of what I heard was hardly worth a second thought, but there was one story that caught my attention.
Oh?
Some believe that Michio is the one who killed Mr. Jonouchi.
Really?
The story's got two pieces of evidence to back it up. One of them wasn't news to me. Apparently he's been mumbling that Michio was going to kill him for some days now. A fellow teacher overheard this mumbling and told the students.
And then it spread like wildfire, I suppose. Rumours that juicy don't stay a secret for long.
As for the other piece of evidence, a pigtailed girl in a school uniform was seen around school late last night.
Go on.
Although numerous people claim to have seen the girl, not one of them saw her face. Some are proposing it was Michio brought back to life, or that it was a vengeful spirit. But it's not like Michio's the only high school girl to wear pigtails. This rumour might have been made up just to fan the flames.
But if it were true, I'd want to get a hold of her in order to hear her side of the kidnapping.
If she's alive, that'd be ideal. There's still one more thing I should mention. I discovered where Michio lived. A student had a list of student addresses on hand.
That's an amazing find.
I believe all of the students actually have a copy of said list. It truly worries me how easy it was to obtain what should be confidential information. Imagine what would happen if that information got into the wrong hands.
Well, so far it hasn't, no?
Sure, let's hope it stays that way. In the meantime, it's now possible for us to visit Michio Shuriishi's house.
I guess we go there then. Near the Shuriishi household. How did it go?
I went to visit Michio Shuriishi's family home, however. No one seemed to be there. I got no answer at the door and all the lights were out. Seems to have been empty for a while now. There was a stack of newspapers out front. It's a bit quieter over here. It is a residential area after all. All these run-down row houses really scream work and class, don't they?
What are we thinking at the moment? I don't understand why no one's come to the house even after Michio committed suicide. I wonder if this place is okay.
Social connections run deep in working class areas like this place, so I decided to talk to the locals. I met a few nice old ladies who were kind enough to give me the scoop. Turns out the Shuriishi's reputation really went down the dumps this past year.
Oh, is that so?
I'll give you the quick summary. They moved here about 3 years ago. Their previous residence was in a better part of town. Michio's father died in a car accident, leaving behind just the two of them. Michio's mum, Toshiko, now a single mother, relocated here. At first they got along with their neighbours, many of which were in similar situations, helping and being helped in turn.
So far so good. What happened?
Well, as I said, their reputation began to go downhill about a year ago. A man recognised as Toshiko's common-law husband had moved into the household. His name was apparently Kankichiro Iwai. Neighbourhood gossip is something else. Somehow everyone knew his name.
So what of this Iwai character?
He was apparently a vulgar fellow with criminal record. He was prone to violent outbursts. The neighbours often heard screams and shouting coming from the home. The neighbours took particular notice of Toshiko's screams, pleading with him not to hit Michio.
Oh, that's terrible.
As if that wasn't unsettling enough, every night the neighbours also began to hear an eerie chanting. Through this, the Shuriishi standing in the neighbourhood plummeted rapidly. Toshiko was often seen covered in bruises and wounds. She stopped responding to her neighbours. She would just turn the other way when greeted. They kept their storm shutters closed even during the day and effectively shut themselves away from the entire community.
Oh, that sounds horrible. Why didn't the police step in and do something?
Unfortunately, under our current laws, the police aren't allowed to get involved with domestic disputes.
Oh, that's awful.
And then Michio reportedly killed herself. Things only got worse with Iwai, and Toshiko was admitted to the hospital for physical and mental abuse. Ever since, Iwai hasn't returned to the home. Many locals expressed sympathy for Michio's circumstances, but just as many were fed up with the Shirishis entirely and seemed relieved that things finally quietened down again. It seems they were still considered outsiders even after 3 years of living here.
I don't understand it. Why would Toshiko have gotten involved with such a brutish good-for-nothing in the first place?
I've heard many stories where one partner's personality does a complete turn after entering a relationship. After her first husband's death, Toshiko's financial situation had also taken a turn for the worse. She was determined to send her daughter to a good high school. It's possible she fell victim to sweet promises.
Life can be tough, I suppose.
You don't seem moved by the story, ma'am. That's fine. People have all kinds of stories.
Ooh. Kankichiro Iwai. Male, unemployed. The common-law husband of Michio Shirishi's mother, Toshiko Shirishi. Kankichiro started coming and going from the Shirishi household a little over a year ago. It seems he has served some time in prison, but the details are unknown.
Oh, so you came here too?
Huh? What is it?
Haha.
Ah.
Could you repeat what you know one more time for me, Richter?
Ha ha ha. Cool. Worlds collide.
Fancy sushi.
Cool. Okay. Well, it's probably over an hour now, so we'll end the episode there. But thanks very much for watching this episode of Paranormasight. There's an intriguing little mystery behind all this, isn't it? And it's starting to tie together in fun ways. That's really cool. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, then please do hit the thumbs up button on the video. Leave me a comment, because it's always good to hear what you guys are thinking about the games that I'm playing and how I'm playing them. And it'd be great if you could subscribe to the channel too, if you're watching this and you haven't done so before. And lastly, I'm just going to say thanks once again, and I hope to see you next time for more Paranormasight, the Seven Mysteries of Honjo. Bye for now.